everybody's okay. It's been one weird week last week, which must have been long for everybody. I'm sure it was. Check out the swag, guys. Check that out. Okay. I get in shit from Joe, whose birthday it was yesterday, by the way. And I did like you guys sending them off some celebrations, and that's kind of cool. So right now in our store, which is available today, which just opened up, we have these amazing white t-shirts, white noise t-shirts, and we have hoodies, and we have hats. And I just ordered a hat because I'm kind of curious of how that hat's going to do. And get ready, because now finally we're having branded smudge kits for everybody that you can use on our second week of May tutorial on how to smudge yourself, your home, your family, the outdoors, and we'll get through all of that. And we'll have a lot of fun with that. But you can order that as well. It'll be in the store in the next couple of days, and I'll keep you all aware of when it comes on. Okay. There's a big thing here because someone is already booking in Illinois, and someone is trying to book. I've been to Cleveland, but I've never been to Cleveland because I had to work, so I never got to visit Cleveland as much. But someone is booking in Cleveland, I heard. And I know that people in the Chicago area are booking me up as well in the next couple of weeks and preparing for me to come out there sometime in early May. I have 2 bookings here in Ontario, which is very cool for me. So getting those booking dates done, and looking forward to doing all of those as well. So there's a lot of cool things. I do want to talk about a couple of things here that are important, which is we have a new moon that starts on the 5th, really. Okay. And that new moon is the new moon in Libra. So I'm a Libra, so I kind of understand what's happening. I wrote some notes down for all of us. And for that Libra moon to happen in the new moon, what's going on here right now is there's a change and an opportunity of good healing vibrations for relationships that fell apart, for jobs that need a little bit more understanding, and how we show up and interact with everybody. We're going to want to be having everything even keel. We don't want to have all the old wounds open up again, and we don't want us to hold back by not saying that we didn't like what was happening. And so those are the things that are changing quite a bit. So with the Libra rising, it's going to be very, very interesting for all of us, and it's going to sit and work with us. I'm just a little worried for many of us because Mercury in retrograde is showing up towards the end of the month for a couple of weeks, and that's going to affect a lot of people because it's in Aries. So, and it's not presenting itself very well, and it will disconnect the Libra opportunity where we're trying to get everything fixed. We don't want the old wounds, wounds of our lovers, wounds from our old friends, and all of those things. We are starting to learn to value ourselves in 2023, which is what it's all about. So really, the light can shine on all of you with a wholeness despite everything you're going through, and to take better chances than you have in the past. The opportunities there are for deeper connections with people, opening up new businesses, purging old friends, old relationships, especially including myself, who was once divorced. They're wiped clean. We don't have to worry about that excessive damaged energy that we put up with for so long. It no longer belongs to us. So we'll have a deeper connection with ourselves because of the way that Libra is working. So it's very cool. And I'm just going to let everyone know on Instagram Live, come and join me on Jim Hunt Official on YouTube, and we'll see you there in a few minutes. And I'm saying bye-bye to all 17 of you, and come on over. Thanks, guys. See ya. There we go. And so hopefully things are going to be okay for everyone. And that is done. Tonight, I have a special guest that's going to be coming on shortly. Did I do the announcements properly, Joe? You don't have to come online, but they all want to see that pretty mug of yours because you're a year older than You used to be, right? So
That's
you
right.
think are you more mature?
I think I'm less mature. I'm still
Okay.
23 at heart, though.
Oh yeah. Oh
We
yeah.
all are, right?
Yeah, we have to be. Because if we're not
23
going
is
to
a
be
good
23,
age.
there's just no sense in doing it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Well, you
We
did
need,
great.
we need that stamina. Like that's important. So we do have a special guest that's coming on, another interesting Canadian paranormal group, Weeping Willow Paranormal. And they're located out of Niagara Falls, Ontario. Now, if you've ever been to Niagara Falls, it's a lot different than what people have seen. It's one of the seven wonders of the world. You get to see the Niagara Falls. I had a very close friend, a demonologist. I still have a close friend, a demonologist, Michelle DeRoche, who used to live out there, and now she's moved out of that area. But that was they had a haunted inn, which I did a TV show on, and that was an episode of that anyway, and that was a lot of fun. And tonight you're gonna be introduced to Cassie, the head kahuna, the runner of the show, with her husband Ron, and I love the spelling of his name, Raun, but I had to put Ron just to make sure that I was doing it the right way. And their partner in crime, Reese, which is very cool. And so we're gonna get them coming on here in a few minutes. If you have questions in the audience, please don't hesitate to ask. And because I have a ton of questions for them too. And we're only going to be doing 2 readings live after this show tonight. And it comes from our audience on YouTube, and we'll just see how it goes, okay? So without further ado, Joe, let's bring on our guests this evening. There's 2 of them, the husband and wife, Cassie and Ron. And there we go with Reese. Welcome everyone to White Noise. Thank you so much for showing up and putting up with this crazy guy.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. So you're working out of Niagara Falls, and I want to hear a little bit about you, and I want to leave the mic open to you, Cassie. And the biggest thing is, how many years have you done this, and why are you doing this? So please.
Okay, so we're about going 2 years. We're almost at 2 years. Pretty much next month in May, we would have hit our very first investigation, which would have been with Reese and me. And then my husband kind of joined for a couple investigations, and then he backed off. And then he rejoined this past September, basically. I would say it was official that he came back. He's a little bit less a skeptic. And basically, I've always been interested in the paranormal ever since I was a kid. I didn't really watch the paranormal TV shows, but I watched a lot of but I read a lot of the Haunted Canada books or Haunted Ontario books, or I'd read like creepy, R.L. Stein books and stuff. So I've always been like fascinated with the world of the paranormal. Did a speech in grade 7 on the Bermuda Triangle. Always been really weird. So I didn't really realize that like paranormal investigation was really a true thing, like, because I never really heard of it. Other than like the books and stuff. But then my eyes got opened up in the whole world of YouTube paranormal. And then I was just not going to really do it. Like I was just going to like not put it out into the world. I was just going to like record for myself basically. Yep. And I had a really good friend, he named Crow. He was like, you need to do this. And I was like, okay. And then I just kind of dove in head first, like how I always roll with things, and brought these people along with me.
Well, I've watched you on YouTube, and I was very surprised and interested in the way, or your methodology and the way that you show yourselves. And your videography is pretty good there, young lady. And you said that you were self-taught.
Yeah, completely amateur. Like I studied medical science and massage therapy. I'm not a camera person, camera woman at all. So it was just flying by the seat of my pants, and everybody's been super nice and supportive. And I just keep building up those camera skills the more investigations we do.
So do you get the boss Ron around as much as Cassie does, or when you're on location?
I mean, I can, but I usually leave the bossing up to her.
Just curious, you're gonna be the brunt of everything today, I think, there, Ron.
Yeah, pretty much.
So being in a partnership with Cassie, that must have been different with working with someone who's very on the spiritual level of looking for ghosts and spirits and the dead, and you being a skeptic, a full skeptic. What are where are you standing with all of that today? How are you feeling about all of this?
To be honest with you, I still struggle on a daily basis. I do, because being raised in the Christian faith, a lot of what Cassie's been kind of doing has been taught to me. It's wrong, it's demonic, it's evil. I still have my beliefs, you know, and what I have, and I'm not going to walk away from that, but I'm still curious. So, you know, I'm more open-minded. I may be letting a lot of people that I've grown up with down in a sense, unfortunately, and I feel bad about that. But Cassie's my wife. She's my soulmate. We met for a reason, and I'm not gonna destroy what she believes in, like what she's doing.
Yeah.
I have a hard time. I don't feel what she is doing is evil by any sense.
Right.
It only becomes evil or demonic if you make it. That's what I believe personally. Right. So, like, no offense, Reese. Like you mentioned about the Wiccan faith and everything. I am kind of on odds about that. Okay, I'm not knocking you or anything. You know, I'm open-minded, but when it comes to witches and all that kind of stuff and Ouija boards, my hands go up. I'm you know, alarm bells go off. You know.
Right.
Don't worry, Ron, because I feel the same thing when people talk about God and Jesus. So we're on the same page.
But I don't. But for me, I don't push my faith on anybody. Like, I don't push God and Jesus. I never have.
Exactly.
I just live my life accordingly. Yeah. And if people have questions,
I think that's why we all work, is because we all let each other believe what we believe. What your belief system is what you make it, and you have every right to believe what you believe.
That's right.
And nobody should be pushing you one way or the other.
No judgment, basically, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean,
the opinions of others are very important, are not as important to what you're hearing. The three of you work together as a team just to get some answers as best as you can, which is the most, at the end of the day, is what we're looking for, because we don't put religion in it. We try not to. It is there. There's a lot of different levels of what we look at and how we pay attention to it. And none of us really are there to preach what we do. We're just so investigative and curious. And you don't have to be, you can be a skeptic, but you can be interested to try and figure it out, to give us a different point of view. In my very first show, TV show, I had a skeptic, I had a believer, and then they had me, and we had the crew, and our skeptic became more of a believer as the seasons progressed. So it was just because there were things that he could not even answer. So that's kind of cool. That's awesome. I like that. That's a good working team, by the way.
Thanks.
You're welcome. The question now is, what is the most, for Reese, what was your interest in the paranormal? How did this come about for you?
So, like Cassie, was always a very weird kid, gravitated towards the supernatural, the paranormal, ghosts, goblins, vampires, werewolves. I loved all of that kind of stuff. Okay. So growing up, just being in love with it, like I did grow up with the TV shows of the ghost hunters as well, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters. And then when Cassie was like, listen, I think I'm going to go out and do it, I was like, I'm in, absolutely. So it was always something that I had an interest in, and I just had to meet the right person to go out and do it with.
That's perfect. Thank you. As a team, what is it that you want to specialize in, or do you want to hit all different fundamentals of paranormal investigation? Like, is there a specific thing that you will be interested in?
I mean, like, as in like location, or like, cause I mean, like, I'm down for like anything. Like, you throw me into I like, we're gonna, anything random. Like, if we are not even unable to film, I'm going in a location and I don't care. Like, I just wanted to, like, I'm so curious. And like each investigation we've done together, like me, Reese, and Ron, because we were in Virginia City for a bit and Reese wasn't with us. We had crazy experiences. And that kind of what tilted Ron into more like, okay, what the heck's going on? Like, I think each investigation, it gets me more curious. And so I'm down for whatever gets thrown at me.
So do you do any rituals of any sorts to protect yourself in going into any place? What do you do specifically to watch out for yourself?
I haven't really done anything. Like occasionally, like when I leave a place, usually I'm like, stay here, that type of thing. I don't know if it's worked recently. I don't think it did, but now we're good. But Reese, I know Reese has more of a, or at least.
I don't know.
What?
I was talking with Cassie's mom kind of because, again, I was struggling, so I wanted some advice. So I was talking with her mom, and she says, what you need to do as a paranormal team is come up with a foundation for what your team is about and what you believe, and kind of have a basis on like, okay, we're going to a location, but what is the key points? What are you doing here? Why are we here? Going in, like whether you pray before you go in or do whatever ritual you need to protect yourself, so that, and then when you're done, you do again, when you're done your investigation, you pray or rituals, whatever,
Right.
just to make fail safe so that you're not bringing anything home with you. Because that was actually, to be honest, my main concern is I love the fact that Cassie's investigating in that, but I don't want anything coming home to affect my family at the end of the day, right? I don't want anything negative coming back to hurt us. That's my thing I've been struggling with personally.
Okay. So Cassie, without saying too much more about this, I might want to talk to you offline another time about certain things that you should be doing.
Okay.
Enter a home, because
Okay.
there are clingers, and I've had a poltergeist in my lifetime 3 times in my research, and one that I couldn't get rid of for almost a month, and one that attached itself to my wife. So that it's really, really important. And my wife wanted nothing to do with it. She wasn't even on the set. It just connected itself to me and hovered around my wife for almost 18 months until Michelle got rid of it for us. I was not even able to feel it or see it. It was that invisible.
Oh, wow.
So fair warning on that one.
Yes.
young
Yeah.
Okay? Because I have kids as well, so there's just no way that I would be bringing anything home. Anyway, okay, so we got that part here. I have so many questions here. When you start looking at things that you see in front of you or feel, do you start to talk to them? Do you use a digital recorder? Do you hear them? Are you auditory? How do you go about listening to all these things that happen?
For example, like I think I hear a lot more than Reese, though at Cottonwood Mansion, Reese heard a lot.
Okay.
And then I've seen stuff that like I'll see like shadows or like depending on the location, but generally we'll use because we have our camcorder. So that's usually running as much as possible. Digital recorder, we use Spirit Box. I'm trying to think what else we use. We do have like REM pod and stuff. So we have other technology, but I find a lot, and Reese can vouch for this, we get a lot of our evidence via our camera audio through like the camera and mic. We've got a little bit through digital recorder, but mostly just through the camera audio.
Okay. And so because I watch your followers who are very interested in what you do, and they're asking the questions as well, and where you get them, because some of the audio that I've heard are pretty cool. And you're actually getting intelligent answers back, which is very hard for paranormal investigators to do. But having Wiccan and having some intuitive abilities, they are going to make it a little bit easier for you to communicate. And then we have Ron in there who they want to really have a conversation with, and he hasn't quite gotten there yet. And I will look forward to listening to him all alone on a show when he does actually get that happening. That'll be something.
Octo Club, you did hear something in your ear.
Yeah, that did. I couldn't figure that one out.
No.
That was like, whoa.
Was it audio? The audible? So did you hear a sentence, a word, or anything?
It was a word.
Yeah,
right?
yes. I think it was yes.
it was yes, yeah, or something like that. But
Yeah.
I did. Cassie was asking. I think you were asking a question, and
Yeah.
literally I was like, holy, I heard yes.
And the camera caught
And
it
the camera
too.
caught it too, which is very weird. Like I those are things I can't explain. Like, you know, and
Yeah.
So that's why the skeptic in me is like, well, yeah, okay, there's something there, but I'm still like at heart, I struggle.
And that's fine. And I get that. Have you ever, do you understand what a loop is? Looping?
Me personally, no.
All three of you, do you know that term about a spirit constantly doing the same thing over
Oh
and over?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar. Yep.
Have you ever been involved in anything like that in any of your investigations? Because a lot of the paranormal investigators that go in there have a hard time trying to end that loop because they don't do enough history on the facilities that they're going into. Have you had any of those yet?
I can't say if we have I'm not that I've noticed. I mean, we've really only gone to locations like once. Like I would like there's other than screen tunnels in Niagara Falls, we've been there like the most out of all the locations, but I don't know, Reese?
Yeah, it's hard to say because a lot of the evidence is fragmented, but I feel like some locations like the Beck House and Cottonwood Mansion that were lived in by families do carry a lot of that residual energy, just kind of almost going through the motions. And you do kind of feel that when you walk into a place with that history, is you can almost feel the everyday activity continuing on in this lived space.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Have you ever thought of doing your own podcast or anything to that effect and inviting people more to what you guys do?
I mean, we do a lot of live streams. They're like our live streams are mostly the most like random things ever. But I've never really thought about doing like an actual podcast.
No, that's cool. I was just, these are some of the questions that I was kind of curious about because you can be very entertaining and give us some information, which a lot of people don't get. And Canadians who are doing, because we're all Canadian here, we investigate a lot different than the Americans do or the Europeans do. They all have their different ways, but Canadians are we're not as polite as we should be with the dead. But some of us have to really take a look at what we're investigating. So I was just curious if that was going to happen. And have you had any issues with how do I say this? A heaviness around you? Do you feel the difference in air temperature? Do you get any of those things as well?
Yeah, I personally have had a lot of like that's how I usually feel a room. A lot of times I just walk into a location or into a room, depending on if it's like a bigger location. Like we've had it where we felt something in the room and then it feels like it empties and you feel fine again. So I've definitely felt that from personally. The back house, for example, there was one room I couldn't sleep in. I slept on the couch and that wasn't much help either because I felt like I was being watched all night anyways. And Reese was being watched all night. So yeah, that was, so I definitely have felt that. I think
how were you feeling being watched by Reese? Where did that feeling come from? Were you having a conversation? Was it something that you felt or you knew?
So it's funny because I was in the room where it was said that Amelia, who was the mother of the house, was sick. That was her sick bed. She ultimately passed there. That was our understanding. So it almost felt like it was a male presence watching over me.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
yeah, it was almost like he was there just to watch over me, not malicious, not like, what are you doing here? But just as almost that guardianship. And he actually followed me home for a few nights before I had to tell him that I was fine and he can go back home. And then he went back home.
That's awesome. So your intuitive abilities, Reese, are very strong then.
Yeah, I do definitely have some sensitivities, absolutely. And I've been kind of exploring it more and more as we go.
Cool. Because I do a lot of past life things, and some of the things that I see around you, like you were a healer at one point in one of your past lives, for sure. You know, and a traveler. Those type of things are the things that I pick up from what your abilities are. but you're empathic to a point where you overcare and you drain a lot of your own energy because of it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
And maybe, and just maybe Cassie just gives you some of the energy back. And
Oh, she is such a positive energy and she has so much of that raw energy. It's insane. I don't know how she does it with 5 children, but she just radiates an energy. It's incredible.
Oh, thanks, Reese.
that's awesome. That's really cool to hear. So what is your next investigation happening here? I'm kind of curious. We can end it up on towards this and just let's hear what's happening.
Yeah, so I'll take over this one because I kind of set it up.
Yeah.
So one of my clients through work, she works through a real estate agent, and right now they have a property that they are actually having difficulty trying to get rid of and get off their hands. They themselves have personally experienced activity like lights flicking on and off, taps turning on and off, sounds, noises, the regular kind of paranormal stuff that you expect in a haunted location.
Well, I don't know if running tap water and
Yeah.
things are regular. That is actually
So yeah,
the situation. That is poltergeist.
yeah. So they are definitely having some pretty decent activity. So we've been invited to kind of take a look around, and also we've been asked to cleanse the space.
So you're going to go through a smudging routine.
Yes,
Right.
yes, I'm going to go through a smudging routine of the entire house.
Okay. And are you going to do the outdoors as well, or are you just focusing in on the inside of the home? Just curious.
I'm gonna focus on the inside of the home just because that's where all the activity and the feeling is. If necessary, like I'll come back and do kind of more thorough of the property around and again inside if need be. But hopefully one round of smudging very thoroughly through all the entrances, all of the corners and everything. Hopefully that will help them.
Well, let's hope that works out. And
Yes.
we do know that Cassie's going to learn how to protect herself, because we're going to talk long before that happens, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's going to have to be some things happening before you walk into that house. And I think that Ron would feel more comfortable if I gave the old school values as to protecting your family at the same time, because you just don't want to come home with anything.
Mhm.
So it's great that you've been doing this for 2 years, and it's fun that what you're doing and how you're doing it is very important. Are you planning to expand your group? Is there other people that you're going to be interested in bringing on at any point in your investigation group?
I think we're going to stick it to just the 3 of us. Because if you get more people in a group too, like when you go to locations, it's hard to, because you get a lot of noise contamination or there's just like extra stuff. So we try to keep our group small. That's not like we do collabs, like we'll collab with other teams and stuff. But for adding to our team, I think we'll just like stick to 3 of us for now. And then see where that goes. Like we do have like on like a bunch of our episodes, we do have collab with other teams. And then we have a Reese can't come to this trip we're doing, but we're doing a big trip. And we actually have so he's in the chat right now, Cemetery Road. So he's collabing with us, and then Karen from Australia, she's the doof in the chat. We're doing a big trip with them. So
That's
and it's
awesome.
a secret.
Top
That's
secret.
perfect. It's always nice to have top secret. So if we had to get a hold of you in the Niagara region, how do we go about doing this?
Probably the best way would be Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram, or my email. So it's like WeepingWillowParanormal@gmail, or WeepingWillow on Instagram, WeepingWillowParanormal on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I don't really go on Twitter that much, or TikTok, but mostly just Instagram or email.
So we're going to find you there. There's no website as of yet, or you're not
No.
planning on doing that. You'll just use the Instagram side. And
I think so for now.
from there. Okay. So, and your availability is like you guys would be able to help people almost once you do a history on the place, you'd be able to probably get in there quite quickly.
I would say so. Yeah, definitely run our schedules. But I mean, we're pretty free. Like evenings are usually free for us. So
Weekends.
and weekends, depending.
Depending on-
Yeah. But yeah, we're pretty open.
Well, this is great. I want to thank you all for coming on the show. This was just like absolutely amazing. And I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope we do meet in person, because there is some stuff that we do want to investigate in Niagara Falls too. So maybe we give you a call and we can all work together. That'd be awesome.
That would be
Very
really
cool,
great.
yeah.
Fantastic.
No, that would be something else. I do know that along the waterfront, you can see soldiers still in Niagara Falls, which really freaks me the crap out.
That's interesting, because when we had our interview with War Party, Eric was saying with the falls and the water, the energy that comes from that. And I'm not, again, the whole energy thing, but it was interesting to hear his what am I getting? His
Water is a conduit for the spirit.
yeah, that's what he was saying. Yeah.
So and it's just, you're surrounded by water in the falls, right? So
Yeah.
it's really cool. Well, that was awesome. And Reese, it was great to meet you as well. And your grandmother's very happy about you. So and good luck
Thank you.
with your next exam.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, that was such a pleasure. And thank you again there. And Cassie, Ron, it was an honor to have all of you on here. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for
Thanks.
having us.
Thank
All
you.
right. We'll catch up, and I will call you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, Cassie. All right. You guys
Okay.
take care. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now. Well, Joe,
Yes, sir.
how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Very good. That was interesting.
Yeah.
There are rookies there, but they're enjoying themselves and they're trying to find things. So hopefully they'll be safer. And I'm gonna reach out to Cassie and give her a few more tidbits to take care of herself and her family. Have we got any questions out here today for me? Not so much for the group.
I mean, there's a question here that you may be able to answer.
Okay.
Actually, two of them. So
Sure.
you were talking about the rituals you recommend to go into a haunted space.
Yeah.
So even if someone is not investigating per se or looking for the other side, like, is there something they could do knowing that they're going into somewhere haunted or that may have activity?
Everything that we've done since childhood was to the most interesting part about that is to go into a home, and even if you're uncomfortable of walking into someone's home who's you're uncertain of, is to white light yourselves from head to toe and drag that white light under your feet, and almost like it's tickling your feet, to ground yourself and to protect yourself. And if you don't feel good enough with the white light and you still feel uncomfortable, then you shroud yourself with a mirror and invert the mirror out so that anything that will try and affect you will literally bounce off of you and go back to them. And that's one of the easiest ways. And don't provoke. Don't go looking for it, and just try and avoid it as much as possible, especially if you don't have experience in looking into a home, because there can be so many clingers and so much poltergeist activity at certain points when you're not looking for it. Because a lot of us, I don't look for it. Part of my job is I do go in and I do get rid of them, but it is exhausting. It's troublesome because I'm always worried if I'm going to bring something home. And I don't like disturbing other psychic mediums to help me clear myself. How's that for an answer?
Very interesting. Very interesting. This one's Alex is a good question because I'm feeling it too. He just said, "Why is everyone so tired this week, especially sensitive? Something is exhausting everyone. Is there something going on?"
So there is a power source that we need to understand. The new moon, okay, operates with Earth, and it's like it's a polarized way where we feel like our bodies are in a vice in energy. So we feel boxed in, we feel uncomfortable, we don't like talking about things that are private right now, or the confidentiality that we're dealing with, or we're feeling almost slightly paranoid in our feelings during the day. We're uncertain of what we're doing tomorrow, if it's going to work out. So there's a lot of uncertainty that's brought on that. But as of tomorrow, when Libra comes in, and it comes in around 8 o'clock, it creates such a balance, and everyone's going to start feeling better. And it's not the spring feeling of good weather. It is literally the energy is going to be lifted away from us. It's like a fog going on right now. It's been like that since the beginning of March. So it only got worse and impacted when we went into April. It was crazy.
Wow.
That's not an April Fool's joke.
Very nice. Do you want another question, or do you want to jump into our guests?
I don't mind taking, if there's some more questions, I'll take any questions, and then we can get some live guests and call it a night.
Call it a night. This one may have been for the group, but I think you can answer it as well.
Sure.
It's just, what do I need to start up if I wanted to do investigations?
Okay. So from the beginning is, you need to investigate. You need to know who you are as a person, what you're afraid of. You cannot show fear on any level walking into a house that has activity. You cannot show fear on any level, because the spirit sees aura colors like I would see aura colors. So it's a definite tall tale sign of I'm afraid. And it is literally that bluish color over here that the spirits will see, that they know that they have an ability to try and connect with you, try and overtake you, try and possess you. There's a lot of different things that you really have to watch out for. Knowing the history of a home. I cannot believe that people walk in, investigators, not finding out what's going on in a home, or not having the ability to see what's going on, because it can be frightening to walk into something. And, you know, when I see many psychic children who feel uncomfortable with what they see in front of them, and we have parents who find it hard to believe because they need to touch and feel, and they don't grasp what children are seeing, they're frightened by dark energy, and the dark energy will actually take advantage of that and create a lot of havoc for people. So there's a lot of investigative things to do. I am putting on a seminar, Joe, as you know, about smudging sometime in mid-May, and we're going to have some smudge kits that people will be able to purchase. And I'm going to go on about the tall tale signs of how to become an investigator without being psychic, and being psychic, and using those tools to validate what you do and to protect yourself at the same time. Crazy.
All right, let's jump into some readings.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Hey, don't you guys like this t-shirt? Like, how come no one's ordered one yet? What's going on?
Who's watching?
Somebody's got to watch it.
All right, so we're going to start with Kathy.
Sure. Hi, Kathy. Let's go. We'll get the ding ding. Where's my paper? Here it is. I'm getting it. I love the way that Zoom works and delays us all the time.
So
I know this girl, okay?
they're looking for.
This is not fair. Kathy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. It's so good to see you. Oh, no, I lost her. You see what happens is I didn't do that. Kathy just touched the wrong button. I've known Kathy from high school.
Really?
That's how far back we go. So that's really cool. And I was at her place near Ottawa a couple of years before COVID started, and I read a whole bunch of her friends at her place before I headed off to Maniwaki. And it was, what a good time I had with her. It was a lot of fun. I know she's going to get back here. There's a couple of other things that I wanted to talk about in the Libra full moon. Do you know that this full moon that happens tomorrow will encourage us to forge better connections with other people, with other opportunities, and not to be afraid of learning. We always have that apprehension about learning something new or trying something new. With the Libra moon in this month, we will almost have the ability to feel good about ourselves, to find ourselves, to look out what we really want to do, how we want to do it, and we'll be able to say no a lot easier. So we lost that one too. This is just going really well.
Let's try Kathy again, and then
All right, let's get Kathy back in
the loop again.
All right.
All right, here comes Kathy.
Okay, we'll just hang on for Kathy. Dun dun. We almost got her. There we are. Kathy, you got to stop touching buttons.
Yes.
So good to see you.
You too.
What are you throwing at me? What do you want to know?
I don't know. I seem to be at a standstill these days. So I'm hoping that you're going to give me some clarity.
Okay. I know that you have a traveling group that you go around with and you're enjoying yourself with all the ladies and having some fun that way. What is your birthday, Kathy?
February 4th.
Okay.
58.
Okay. So there's two things. There's a delay in opportunity for most Aquarians right now. And the reason that is because there's a fog about all of you. And this goes for every Aquarius, especially in that birth date era, because you're holding yourself hostage. You're not looking at things with your own pride. I know you, Kathy, you're completely different. You're always on a high level and you're always exciting to be around and everybody wants to be around you. That much I do know. But if you're trying to get into a relationship right now, that doesn't work until mid-June, early July. The men that are out there are just not, the universe is saying, I'm not going to give you an asshole.
Good.
And, you know, you can always send me a picture of them and I can take a look at them and figure them out anyway, right? Because
Yes.
we know each other. What else? Any other questions, or are you just in this funk? You know what I would really do?
What?
Way to smudge this home. You haven't smudged since you moved in there.
No.
And I think you need to get rid of some of the energy that's in that home from before. That would be really, really good. And that would be starting at your front door and working from left to right in your home. The bathrooms need to be done twice because of the energy, water, that type of thing. It should always run the smudge twice and in the kitchen twice. And you say your own prayer, Kathy. You say your own intent. If you're looking to remove challenging energy or sadness or depression in a lot of people that's been going on since COVID, you're just trying to rejuvenate all the energy around you because you're one hell of a good person. You've never screwed with anybody in your lifetime and you deserve nothing but the best because I know you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I think that way, and then you read it if you, and the women too, you know, that just take advantage of you and
Well, they take, well,
they ghost you.
yeah, they do. No pun intended, but
Yes.
yes. Part of the reason, Kath, is just everybody is looking for an easy out or an easy in. Most people, but not in our age group, which is weird. When we want to make a friend, we want to make a permanent friend. We don't want to end something. And
Yes.
gatherings and get together are few and far between. So when we can do that, we have fun. But maybe some of the people that ghost us feel very uncomfortable in our situation because you do not put on a painted smile for anybody.
No.
And that's the thing that I love about you. And the whole idea behind that is when we don't put on that painted smile and they see our own reality, maybe they're always thinking that we are going to be cheery with them or we are going to give them their back rub that they've always been looking for and then walk away because that's all they needed from us. It's a shame.
It is. It is.
But I truly, honestly think that everything will start coming together a lot sooner and a lot better for you in June. Like really good.
Good. Because I'm doing a lot of things, and I'm bearing the fruit now of my efforts, since I've reinvented myself,
Yep.
the new widow, the new retiree and all this sort of stuff. And, I'm quite happy in some regards with, my travel group and my social group and my walking group and my biking group, but it's like, is that all there is?
We're going to talk offline because I don't want to add too many personal things in here because we know each other so well. But I'm going to send you something that will be very interesting for you to take a look at and to consider. And I will make an effort to come out towards your way sometime at the end of May.
Oh, that would be nice.
If you're not traveling somewhere, you know what I mean? Like,
That would be really nice. I know the girls would like to see you again. And what about my kitties? Do you see anything with regards to number one son and number one daughter?
You're, she's an amazing kid. She keeps life in the family for sure. You know, she brings a lot of joy and a lot of happiness. And your daughter's still getting used to being a mom. Like, who doesn't? You know, we still get used to trying to be parents every day. But your daughter's doing such a great job at taking care of this young. What's your daughter or your granddaughter's name?
Poppy.
Oh, yes. I love it. And it's just perfect. And she is the life of a party, that little one.
Yes, she is.
So everything's good for her. I do strongly feel that your granddaughter's chosen towards the how do I say that, the entertainment side of the world. She's going to be an entertainer of some sort.
I can see that. She just turned 2 and I can see it.
Wow, time has flown. 2 years old already. That's amazing. So we'll keep together, and I'll reach out in the next week or so. But I am going to send you. I'll talk to you on Messenger tonight, or not tonight, but tomorrow.
Okay.
And
What
I'll send-
about Sean?
He's still moving in the same direction. He's not making changes, which he should have done. Hard-headed, like we know.
Oh,
who-
yes, yes,
Like we know who.
yes. I still got the anger issue.
Yes, but he's still, and it's just because he needs to fully believe in himself more. That's all this is.
Tiny steps. I see tiny steps.
Yep, which will be good. And he needs a partner to kick his ass in a nice way too, right?
I know, that's what I'm hoping for.
Me too. He needs that someone that he has to answer to in a good way, not in a demanding way, but everything that he does, it would be nice that he has someone that'll listen to him. Instead
Well,
of,
he's a February baby as well.
so still structure and opportunity is hard until mid-June for all Aquarians. And it's a bummer for me to say that, but it's the truth.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm on the right path.
You're on the right path. You're doing the right thing. You are. You're ageless, woman.
Tell that to somebody who just turned 65.
Oh, come on. I'm in October. We're the same age. so-
I know, I know, I know.
Yes, but we love life. And
Yes,
our bodies might not like us, but we still feel like we're 23.
that's true. That's true. Okay, well, I look forward to chatting with you offline, and we hope to see you in the neighborhood
End of May.
soon.
That'd be good. After the long weekend in May.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks, Kathy.
Okay, take care.
You
Bye-bye.
take care. Bye now. Buy a t-shirt. I can't get rid of them. Come on, Joe. Did you buy one? Oh no, I gotta buy you one.
You gotta buy me one.
I know. Because we
You
gotta,
one for every day of the week.
we gotta be twinsies here or something, you know?
Oh, you make me laugh.
Yeah,
right.
well, you know, you're the younger brother that needs a beating every once in a while. I don't know why, but it's just the truth.
Let's take this off here. Anyways,
I think we're done. No?
yeah, up to you.
Yeah. We can have an early show,
Sure.
and you can go back to painting your nails and stuff because it's still on your birthday.
Okay, sounds good.
I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, episode 14. It was good. I want to thank Weeping Willow Paranormal for coming on the show. They had some interesting things to say. I'm looking forward to our next show, and it will be a nutritionist, a very strong spiritual nutritionist who knows a lot about helping us. And she is going to be my next guest, and we'll get a lot of information about her coming on, and we'll have a lot of fun with that whole thing. And we do want a lot of interaction. And I think she's going to throw some people in. I'm going to throw some people in. And maybe we'll do a t-shirt giveaway or something to someone, you know? This might work. So we will see you all in 2 weeks. Joe, as always, thank you so much for doing the show. You're just absolutely amazing. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.